Hey guys, I'm Matt, trying level down there 43. Today I'm going to be taking a look at this MTH Premier Line Maryland Midland F-7 ABBA diesel set from MTH Electric Train. This F-7 ABBA set was featured in the 2011 Volume 2 catalog from MTH. The A units are cab number 100 and 101, and then the B unit is cab number 100B. And then here's what that set looks like. It's really nice, and as you can see, it's on the lab right now. We just got it yesterday, so it's a really nice looking set. And then the extra B unit, well, first the item number on the ABA set is 20-20189-1, and then it retails for $729. And then the B unit is 20-20189-3, and that is the B unit set. And then if you want the B unit, and then if you want a 2-rail version, that would be 20-20189-2, and then that comes with 2-rail equipped. And if you have the high rail set like we have, it's -1, but you can always convert it to scale wheels. All you gotta do is buy a conversion kit that MTH sells. You'll have to buy 2 of them, one per A unit, and then you flip switches in the back of on the diaphragm section, which you'll be able to see in a minute, and that will allow you to flip switches, and that will allow the polarity of the set to be ran with on a 2-rail layout or 3-rail layout. I'll get into more details on this in a few minutes. This EMD F7 ABA set is packed with just a ton of detail. You guys are going to love it, so let's go ahead and zoom in and take a closer look at this set. Here's a look at the pilot. On the pilot, you have a operating MTH protocoupler, which can be fired using the buttons on your transformer or a MTH DCS remote. You also have a very nicely detailed coupler cut bar. Then you also have MU hoses on either side of the coupler. To come up on the nose, you have a ton of lighting features. You have operating number boards, which are on either side of the nose. You have operating green marker lights on this particular engine, which are on either side of the nose. And then in the middle, on the bottom, you have a headlight. And then on the top, you have an operating Mars light. And then on the very top right here, there's an operating beacon light, which is pretty cool. The outside of the cab is also very nicely done. You have removable windshield wipers. You have these reflective screens. There actually is no reflecting about them, but that they are supposed to emulate reflecting mirrors. You have windows up here. None of these windows move though. Then you have an opening door right here. Then you have grab irons, and then you also have some step detail. Here's a look at one of the sections of the die-cast trucks. These trucks are magnificent. You've got all kinds of very nicely applied fine wire detail with air lines and brake lines and sand lines. Then you have air cylinders all over the place. You got 2 of them right here. And then you have the step detail as well as another wire piece of detail. These are magnificent trucks. There's no question about it. Here's a look at the side of the engine. On the side of the engine, you have 2 portholes on the A units. And then you have this very nice chrome style coloration for the side grills, and then the rear grills back here actually are see-through. These particular ones running up the engine are not, but the ones in the back are. You have some grill detail right here. Then you have another opening door back here with grab iron detail. The fuel tank has some very nice detail with emergency switches and your fuel gauge level. Come up on top of the engine, you have a very nicely detailed horn up front here. You have an antenna piece, the strobe light, which I've mentioned earlier. Then back on the radiator part here, you have 4 fan blades. None of these fan blades, to my knowledge, spin though. And then you have 2 smokestacks. There is only 1 smoke unit, but it powers both smokestacks. Then on the back panel here, you have rivet detail. And if this was a passenger engine, you would have exhaust passenger heating and generators stuff, which will look really cool. Finally, here's a look at the back of the engine. On the back of the engine, you have a soft rubber diaphragm. You have a dummy coupler. Then you also have a tether pin. I'll get back to the tether pin in just a minute. Right under here, this is a special feature on most ABA sets. The controls actually are not underneath the engine. Where they are is they're actually back here. You fold this little hatch down, and then right in here are the control switches. Here's a look at the underside of the engine. On the underside of the engine you have a speaker, you have gear, which is up here on this particular side, one side here, and one side on the other side here, and then there's 4 pickup rollers, two per truck, for a total of 4 on each A unit. Here's a look at one of the B units. The B units are very, very nice. And what B units are, if you guys do not know, B units are cabless A units. They're engines that supplied power to the rest of the train, but they just were not manned. They were connected via air hoses, and this particular model actually has them. Where they are is they're right under here. You may or may not be able to see them from this angle, but they are there, and they are very fine pieces of wire detail, so be very, very careful if you are handling the engine, so be very careful about them. So to start off on the back of the, well, in this particular case it's the front. The front, you have the passenger exhaust panel right here. If this was a passenger engine, you have smoke generators, but for right now there are none because this is a freight engine. You have opening doors right here, the chromed upper grill part, 3 portholes instead of 2, and then you have another opening door. There are no smokestacks up here, so there's just the fans. There's another passenger back heater, and then there's the trucks, which are just the same as the A units are. And finally, before we get this set up and running, let's take a look at the rear A unit. I'm not going to do a full-on review of the rear A unit because it's the same unit as the front A unit is, except for 3 differences. The first difference is there's a different road number, 101 instead of 100. There are red marker lights instead of green marker lights. Inside, you only have motors in here. You do not have any speaker system. And one cool thing about these sets is that there actually is directional lighting. I will show you this in just a minute. Okay, before I get the set up and running, I just want to tell you my favorite feature on the engine. My favorite feature is the paint scheme on the engine. I gotta say, the paint scheme is my favorite feature. I love the bright colors of this set. It just looks fantastic. It's just one of those things that I really like. I always look for bright colors, even though I am a dark colored fan, but that's the way I am. So let's go ahead and power the set up. Quickly, before we get the set powered up, you can run this engine 2 ways. You can run it in command mode. You can run, if you have the high rail version like I have, you can run it using the MTH DCS digital command system. If you are running 2-rail, you can use the MTH digital command system, or you can also use DCC to run the engine. And then if you're running conventional, you use the transformer to run the train. So as for me, I have the MTH digital command system. I've got the engine programmed, I got it pulled up, and what we're going to do is we're going to power it up. I'm going to power it up using the extended startup sequence, which is activated by pressing the SSU soft key.
Is she ready to go?
I'm going to go ahead and quickly shut the lights off so you can see the engine's lights better. So the lights that are on now are the headlight, nose light, lighted number boards, the marker lights, the cab light, and the street light. Bell. Alright, let's go ahead and pull it out here. Here's the MTH PFA sounds. This is the standard feature on all MTH engines nowadays. Well, anyway guys, that about wraps it up for this product review video. These engines are fantastic. This entire set is great. If you're interested in purchasing one, they retail for just under $730. But if you go through a good MTH dealer, you may be able to get a little bit of a discount off that price. And these engines are just arriving in stores, so you'll be seeing them soon. And these came out in 2011. So, and if you have not picked yours up, if you have not pre-ordered yours, we pre-ordered ours and we just got it yesterday, but you may or may not have this set. And I just want to tell you that this video of the Maryland Midland version actually is a first on YouTube, so how cool is that? So anyway guys, that about wraps up for this review. If you want more information on this engine, I will have the link to the product page in this video's description. So that about wraps up for this review. I'm Matt, Train Lover 943. We'll catch you later. Bye bye.